Today we're going to talk about the 5 best bass lures that flat out catch bass during the month of January, no matter what type of body of water you're fishing in. When we're fishing down in the south during the month of January, if I could only have one lure tied on that I could fish for bass during that month, it would be the jig, folks. The football jig is an absolute killer for largemouth bass during those cold water months where the bass have just decided to get a little more stagnant. They're not moving as much. We're a little slower. Their metabolism is just way down and our excitement level is way up. Black and blue, green pumpkin, or anything with a craw trailer will get bit. Fish around rock, wood, laydowns, or anywhere the sun warms the bank. The key to January is slow. Drag it, pause it, and let that skirt flare out. Big bass want a big, easy meal, and jigs look just like a winter crawfish scooting across the bottom. The football jig variety is my absolute favorite. These can, just like any other bait out there, get expensive. There is right around that $5 price point for a dirty jigs variety. Sometimes we can throw the football jig, sometimes we can throw the swim jig during the month of January. Reaction Innovations are excellent for jig trailers during the month of January when you're looking for that largemouth bass bite. They are a little bit expensive, but right around that $5 price point, they have a smallie beaver and a kinky beaver. Don't blame me for the naming. I think they're being a little bit crazy on that stuff, but that is what it is. No matter what jig type or what manufacturer you are using during the month of January, they're surely going to get you bit. Use a beaver style or a craw style of trailer, and I think these will pay off for you for that big largemouth bass bite during the month of January. I would advise to stay around the 3/8 to the 1/2 ounce variety, and you're going to add a little additional weight when you put your trailer on, but that is perfect for pretty much any setup you have, whether it's a spin cast or a bait cast. When bass slide up onto the shallow grass flats to warm up, nothing beats the lipless crankbait. Red, orange, or gold colors absolutely dominate during the month of January. Yo-yo it over dying grass or rip it free when it hangs. This reaction bite can save a tough winter day. The lipless crankbait is your power tool for covering water fast and finding where the bass are grouped up. Personally, I think Berkley and Bill Lewis still make the absolute best lipless crankbaits, but there's plenty of other ones out there on the market that will not break the bank. Guys, stop spending so much money out there on baits. There's absolutely no reason to. I'm not sure who's in competition with who, but the bass do not care. They'll take a $3 to a $5 lipless crankbait all day long. You don't need to spend $20 or $30 on these type of baits. It's absolutely ludicrous. Red-eye shad's always a good one. If you can't get the red-eye shad, go with something that looks like the bait in your water column. If you have something that looks like bluegill or sunfish, throw that pattern. If you have something that looks a little more like shad or oweye or something else, throw that pattern. All of these will work. I find that during the month of January, something a little bit smaller bait profile is going to work just a little bit better. This little guy right here from Berkley is one of my absolute favorite. If you get that sunfish, the black and chrome, the blue and chrome, they're all really, really good. The small variety of the lipless crankbait, and one other one you might want to throw in there is the small variety of the blade bait during January when chasing that largemouth bass. Number 3 is when you absolutely cannot get bit. Take a finesse worm, put it on a shaky head or on a small Ned head, and thank me later. When nothing else is working, pick up that finesse worm. A light shaky head or Ned rig head is perfect for cold water pond fish or big bass in pressured lakes. Hit secondary points, the first drop off from the bank, or transitions where mud meets rock. This is an absolute confidence bait for me when the bite gets tough. You're out there, you're struggling, the day's long, you're like, man, I haven't even got bit, I'm going home, I'm gonna get in some warm clothes, I'm gonna drink some hot coffee, the day is busted. If you have not yet thrown that craw, you're making a huge mistake. The 4-inch variety from Strike King, from Gary Yamamoto, the Yama Craw, or the Rage Tail from Strike King. Both in 4-inch. I like the 4-inch. The 3-inch works really well as well. You might have to downsize to entice those bass. But if you have not thrown the craw yet during the month of January and you're griping because you haven't got bit, throw this beauty on a Texas rig, 1/16 1/8 ounce weight, maybe a 1/4 ounce. If you have to, I would stay light weighted, drag this baby across the bottom, and if you're not getting bit, you're probably in a waterway where there is no bass. They are chasing these craws in the waterway during the month of January. They are abundant all the way up and through January into spring. They are all over the place. You guys have got to start throwing the craw no matter what. Have the green pumpkins, have the blue flakes, have the black flakes, have a little bit of variety, a little bit of orange, maybe a little bit of green, maybe a little bit of purple. Purple during this time frame is one of my absolute go-tos, and when most people are avoiding it. Number 5, something I'm always gonna have tied on when chasing largemouth bass during the month of January is the Ned rig. I'm always going to have a Ned rig tied on some way, shape, or form, December, January, February, March. Always gonna have one tied on, never going to take it off. If I have multiple rods out there, you see me out there running around, one of them's gonna have a Ned rig tied on it. I'm always gonna be going with the same baits, guys. It's just the way it is. Z-Man is the absolute king. Something I'm gonna tell you though, when we cut that little tail piece off of that trick worm earlier, save those type of baits because they are absolutely incredible for small offerings, snack size offerings to the largemouth bass on the Ned rig. I love that Elastec material. It's just so forgiving. It's so beautiful. Yoga pants, bubble guts, PB&J, black and blues. What is this one here? Purple rain. These are all absolutely incredible. New money is one of my favorites this time of year, but save those little pieces that you trim off of the baits. Maybe they're going after the size as far as the thickness or the color of those baits. Put it on a smaller offering. You may have not got bit earlier, and now you're gonna start to get bit because you're dealing with something 1.5 inches or 2 inches long versus something that might have been 3 or 4 inches, maybe even 6 inches long. Folks, if you're out there during the winter and you do not have some Z-Man baits, especially the Z-Man Ned rig baits inside of your tackle box, something is definitely wrong with you. You've got to check yourself. The Ned rig must be tied on at all times. You must have some Ned rig baits. If you don't like Z-Man, don't throw Z-Man. There's other bait companies out there. Rappela's doing pretty good. There's a couple of other ones. I don't know them right off the top of my head, but Z-Man is always my go-to. Why? Because the bass speak for me. When I catch bass on Z-Man, Elastec material on that Ned rig, why would I go to anything else? Another one that kind of falls in line with the jigs that we talked about earlier and I failed to mention is the dark sleeper. Obviously, these are not probably classified as a jig, but I work them as a jig in the water column, especially deep in the water column where that warmer water is at. I do not do anything other than cast them out there, let them sit, and then every once in a while, I'll flutter them up into the water column. It always stays in contact with the bottom with that beautiful pectoral fin balancer, and it's got this cool little guard up here on the top on that fin, and that's where the hook is sitting up inside of there. So it's very weedless at the same time. It looks like a swim bait, so most people are gonna go out there and swim that thing and run it like a swim bait. The dark sleeper does not have to be ran like a swim bait. You can, but during the month of January, I'm letting that thing fall to the bottom, wait till the bass get comfortable, and then just flutter it up and let it fall right back down to the bottom. I'm working it really slow. I'm giving them the 1/4 ounce, the 3/8 ounce, and maybe the 1/2 ounce. I'm not going with the 1 ounce right now. I might during the springtime, but right now I'm keeping my offerings a little bit smaller because I think the bass are snacking more than anything else because of that metabolism is really, really low and they're just not very active. Alrighty guys, those are my go-to bass fishing lures during the month of January down here in the South. Let me know what state you guys are watching from, and if you're throwing anything out there to your bass, let me know what you are throwing down in the comments. Happy New Year to each and everybody out there. I hope 2026 is absolutely incredible for you and your family. Until the next one, stay warm, take care, and keep on casting.